Hello, everyone. My name is Bree Hillier, and we are meeting Brent Teske, who is running for County Commissioner of Lincoln County. I'm very grateful that you are here to answer some questions and have a lovely chat with me. So it's very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
How about you just tell me a little bit about yourself and a little introduction?
Sure. So my name is Brent Teske, born and for the most part raised here in Libby. I'm a Navy veteran, 5 years honorably discharged. I brought my family back to Libby because I knew I wanted to raise my kids in Libby. I'd experienced, some of the world, California and places, and decided that's not for me. I want to come home. So I brought my wife and kids back to Libby, and I was here for a short time and got on David Thompson Search and Rescue because I was a scuba diver and was on David Thompson Search and Rescue for 29 years. And through that process, I was talked into joining the Sheriff's Reserve, Deputies Reserve Program.
Oh,
A couple of years into that, the city of Libby decided they wanted to have a police department again, and they hired me as a patrol sergeant, so I went to work for the city of Libby Police Department. Did 12 years with the police department, went over to Afghanistan for 3.5 years on a police contract, which was really interesting.
cool.
It really was.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
And then I came home. I got on the City Libby Council. I was on the council for about 3 years when the mayor resigned.
Right.
So I put my name in the hat and got picked. So I was the City of Libby mayor for 5 years.
Yes.
At the same time, I was the Lincoln County Emergency Management Agency director. We got to experience how county operations are, city operations, local governments. And then Mark Peck resigned, and Lincoln County Central Republican Committee picked me to replace him, and so I was appointed for 1 year, had to run the next, was elected, and here I am up for re-election now.
Nice. You've done a lot of stuff.
I've been a lot of places.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the Afghanistan was on a police contract.
Yeah.
So that's different than military.
We worked in conjunction with the military, but we were civilians over there, hired to train and field work with the police departments over there. They're Afghan national police departments. It's not like the little rural departments we have here. They're a national department.
That is really interesting.
It really was.
I thought that was really, I mean, I want to say cool, but.
Well, it was. There were some cool moments.
Yeah.
No, I did.
Right.
So,
wow, that is really cool. Okay, well, so what made you decide to rerun this year?
I am your District 1 County Commissioner.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that I'm not finished with yet, you know. Through this process in the last few years, I've started what's called the Master Stewardship Agreement. It's a contract and agreement between the Lincoln County Port Authority, the U.S. Forest Service, and Lincoln County to assist the Forest Service in getting some projects done around here. You know, we all know that, wildfire and the lack of logging and the lack of natural resources is killing us. You know, it's killing us financially, it's killing us physically, it's killing us, with the insurance rates and the folks who can't even get insurance. So we started this program. It's been just under 2 years now. Ran into some issues right out of the gate with DOGE. Clawed back all the Forest Service money, clawed back a bunch of the state money.
Yes,
and so we've been trying to get, our feet back under us, get some funding and things. We have done some small scale projects, but we're constantly meeting with the Forest Service to see what we can do to help them.
Right.
We're not going to be doing it. We're just trying to help them get through some contract red tape and some processes to get some of these projects. The Good Neighbor Authority through the state has been very successful. So between the three of us, I have high hopes that we're going to get some logging and potentially, if it's consistent, some manufacturing back to Lincoln County.
That would be so
really
cool. I would love to see that.
And I want to be around for that process. So.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, getting to see things through that you.
Yeah, I do. And I don't want to quit something, and I don't want to, go away halfway through it. I want to see a success out of it. Once it's successful, then I don't have a problem turning it over.
Right.
There it is. Take it and run.
I could ask what would be your top priorities if you were elected, but technically you're already in office right now. Yep. So how about maybe an idea about what kind of your main focuses are?
Main focuses kind of all shifted gears and changed December 11th. So December 11th, we had a 100-year flood event. With that flood event came some pretty substantial damage to our infrastructure. Roads, bridges, road approaches, a lot of county property was affected, port property. And so as far as priorities, most recently, it's been either getting those properties restored or operational again. We've got, we just finished the project other than the paving because there's not a paver up and operational yet. But we just got the project done on Granite Creek where that bridge was washed out.
Oh,
That's
nice.
open and operational again.
Sweet.
And we're just waiting for some permit stuff for what's called Champion Hall Road out off of Hammer.
Yeah,
We
okay.
lost about 300 feet of road. Where the road was is literally the creek now.
That is so cool.
We lost a big section of the approach there. And so for those poor folks, what used to be a 5-minute ride into Troy is now about a 25-minute trip. They have to go around on a Forest Service road, through a subdivision, come out onto the mine road, hit Highway 56, and come all the way into Troy. So you can understand the impact.
Right.
You know? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
hard for them folks. And there's quite a few homes out there. People don't realize what's kind of scattered out in the woods around here.
Yeah.
So that's been a big priority. We've got a temp bridge coming to help us get that back open. But as far as priorities right now, it's just been trying to get some of this infrastructure put back into place, recover from the event, and then hopefully get back to, you know, business as normal itself.
Right. Yeah. I can only imagine how much chaos. Well, and then even after those two events, we just had like those other crazy little.
Yep, another big wind event.
Yeah.
That wind event mostly impacted private property.
Yeah.
That's tough for homeowners, man. I mean, you got everything going on in the world right now, and then all of a sudden you got to worry about, there goes my car, there goes my garage, there goes my house, plus I got to get rid of these trees. What do I do? So it's stressful for people. I don't know what Mother Nature's got up her sleeve, but she's not happy with us right now.
I agree. It's been really weird.
Strange.
It's
Yep.
been very strange.
Yep. And I can hope she's done, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she's never done. She just takes naps.
That's it.
So let's talk. I know we just talked a little bit about infrastructure and stuff like that. With like the rural roads, and you had mentioned like a temp bridge. Is that like literally like a temporary? That is what you mean by that?
Yep.
That works.
It's basically a engineered metal expanse. We put in the abutments on each end. They basically drag it out across, set it in place, and then it allows us, one-way traffic,
Right.
And while that's in place, that allows us to repair all the issues with the existing bridge and approach.
So is it like a little bit in a different location than?
Just right next to it.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Right.
Oh,
The roads still come out to the same points, We just got to step it over a little bit.
right.
So.
That makes sense.
Yep, and then along with that, comes all the armoring of the bank and the riprap replacement and all the things we lost,
Yeah.
Like I said, we just finished Granite Creek. The repair that we did on that, I don't see that ever failing, but you never know. But it's pretty substantial compared to what was there. There was riprap there. The bridge had been there since the mid-'70s, and it washed out the approach on one side. Since then, we put in some really big riprap, and then it's all locked in place with what they call flowable fill. So it's almost kind of like a concrete mortar mix that goes inside there, and it locks all that stuff in place. And then we did another lift of that, and then riprap on top of that. So that's pretty well armored. It's going to be the same process out there on Champion Hall Road. You know about Farm to Market.
Yes.
That's a state highway.
Right.
That particular bridge there, they're going to just demo the whole bridge and build an entire new bridge with a wider expanse.
Oh,
So
cool.
where it's washed out. That's the second time that's washed out in my lifetime.
Oh, really?
1980 or so it washed out. And so they
I did
decided,
not.
they engineered that to put in a whole new bridge with a wider expanse.
That's actually
so-
really interesting.
In their timeline, they're saying they're going to be done at the end of the year. But
Well,
again, that
Let's
affects
hope so.
Yeah, all them folks that live on Swede Mountain and out there at the Amish community.
Yeah. Leona was in here the other day, and she was like, we still get calls every single day from people asking how to get here.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's
she's-
impactful.
Yeah,
you know.
she'll be very happy to
Sure.
hear that.
The county was impacted, the city was impacted with the lower reservoir, state obviously impacted with that bridge, and the Forest Service lost a number of roads and bridges.
I
So
bet
so
they've
everybody
got
was
a
impacted
lot
by
to
this.
clean, I
It
bet.
wasn't just one entity,
Right.
It's-
Right.
It got a lot of folks.
Yeah. No, it was a wild thing to see. But, with all of the damage and the chaos and whatever, like, I do have to say the way that, like, the community as a whole came together
Oh, yeah.
was one of the most beautifully brilliant things I've ever seen.
It's always impressed me.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things when I first got back here, she needed a heart transplant.
Yeah.
The whole community came together, raised the money for that. Sally Sauer, Heart Fund.
Oh, okay,
That was another one. It seems like anytime anybody's got a benefit, people donate, people show up, people, overbid items because,
Absolutely.
I've auctioneered a few of them and I tell them, you're not here to get a deal, you're here to, get
Right.
a feel,
Right.
to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
But it just always amazes me, this community, how it props itself up and stands up for things. So,
Yeah.
yep. So it would be a shock to me if they didn't.
Yeah. No,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's the one thing we can get together on.
Yeah, the amount of people just volunteering
Yep.
and going out and like people were just,
Well, the water system was impacted,
yeah,
and people
yeah.
don't understand how impactful that is till it happens.
Yeah, it was huge.
Restaurants, bars, the senior centers. I mean, all of those things.
Yeah.
Instantly you're out of drinking water.
Yeah.
If you live in the city.
Yeah.
And everybody came together. They rationalized about it. I mean, we had, I don't know how many pallets of water we received.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, a ton of
that
them.
was insane.
A lot of that through state.
Yeah.
But we got through it.
Yeah.
So
No, it was
really
it was
was.
remarkable. Like I have to say,
I agree.
Like, I really love that about our community. So I guess I would like to ask a question now about what do you feel like the county's role in working with like fire departments and EMS and stuff like that.
That wasn't a sound effect.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That was weird. As a supporting role, like for those types of things, what do you think that you guys could do to work together?
No, I really do. And something a lot of people don't know is the ambulance district and the fire districts are all county districts. They get, county budget money, and so tax dollars go to help support those. And so we work with them quite a bit, especially the boards on things. And coming from the EMA background,
Right.
I knew all these guys.
Right.
I was the fire co-op leader, so you had to work with all these fire departments. Try and get them grants, try and get them equipment, try and get them stuff. But from the county commissioner's position, we've given PILT loans, so we get funding from the government. It's basically tax dollars. It's called payment in lieu of taxes for the national forest. We get that, and we've given the fire departments loans, low interest loans.
Okay.
We just did a $500,000 loan to Bull Lake Fire Department so that they could finish their building that they've been trying to put up for years and years and years.
Wow. Nice.
It was $260,000 to Fisher River to pay off a fire engine that they bought because their interest jumped up when all the interest rates jumped up to 7 or 8%, and it was ridiculous what they were paying in interest.
Right.
So we assist them in all kinds of ways.
That's
But yeah,
super
it's
nice.
important to have that cooperation and that with those emergency entities. Obviously, the sheriff's department is
Right.
a department of the county,
Right.
a separate elected official.
Yeah.
So we work a lot with them, try and maintain. The sheriff had a congressional allocation request in. We supported that with them, and Lincoln County got $799,000 for new patrol cars just recently.
Sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To continue to buy replacement patrol cars. We were milking them 1 or 2, 3 a
I
year if we
bet.
could do that.
Yeah.
And you just saw what went by here. It doesn't take long
Yeah.
for a patrol car to rack up
I can't even.
So-
Yeah. Miles.
miles,
Every day.
damage.
Yeah.
The number of deer strikes are just
Oh, yeah.
amazing. So.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so we work with all those emergency entities and agencies. We have, ex officio members on all of the boards for ambulance board and for dispatch boards, those kinds of things. We all attend and represent all that. So it's a tight union. A lot of people don't think so. A
Yeah.
lot of people think, the fire department's all kind of its own little entity.
Actually had no idea. I just thought it was like the sheriff's department was the only.
No, we're all interconnected and all interlocked, and that's all by state law.
Right.
That's set up and established that way.
That is interesting. I was totally unaware of that.
Now, something else I'd like to add to that was,
Yeah.
what could you do to improve it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, this is where I pitch this at every opportunity I get. Volunteerism.
Yes.
Every one of these agencies needs volunteers.
Yes.
Eureka Ambulance is hurting really bad for volunteers. Libby Ambulance constantly, but volunteer. If you really want to get involved and you want to make a change, volunteer. Volunteer for anything. Volunteer for the food pantry, volunteer for the senior center, just anything.
Yeah.
Because it's impactful, it helps. And right now, nationwide, there's a shortage of volunteers, and it's really, really difficult to get people to come outside their shell,
Yeah.
put themselves out there and do something. But
Yes.
if I said anything to help affect that, I would say volunteer.
Yeah,
Big thing.
I completely agree. Yeah. I mean, is there, as far as like doing the ambulance and like firefighters, is there like training and stuff like that? Is that something that the county is involved with, or is that a totally separate situation?
So some of it we're involved with because we supplement the training cost. Some firefighter training, especially wildfire training with some of the fire departments.
That makes sense.
Ambulance, they train in-house. They have their own trainers. They take care of all that. They do have a few things that they ship out, and sometimes they'll come and ask for, additional funds for, some kind of a piece of equipment
Right.
or a fund. But there's going to be training.
Right.
You're going to get trained. They're not
Yeah.
just going to put you in an ambulance and say,
Yeah.
save that
Yeah,
guy's
no,
life.
please train first.
They all have training.
Yeah.
You know, they all have time commitments, you know, whatever it be, you know, the third Wednesday of the month or whatever, you know.
Right.
Like I said, with David Thompson Search and Rescue, you had to do a minimum of 40 hours a year. And, you know, 40 hours, I mean, you worked 40 hours in a week.
Right.
So it doesn't sound like a lot.
Right.
When you look at all the opportunities, you know, they have weekend trainings, fun out in the snow, fun in the river, fun on the lakes, you know, I mean, a lot of things, you know, so.
Yeah.
So just put yourself out there and volunteer and be a part of something is a big deal.
Right.
It's tough right now.
Yeah, no, the Dave Thompson Search and Rescue is such a fascinating, like, group to me. Like, the things that I see that they've been involved with and the different kinds of, I'm just like, and they're volunteers.
All volunteers.
Like, I mean, I'm like, you did, like, that's crazy to me.
So
I mean, all of the emergency services are fabulous and wonderful, but some of those crazy adventures, I'm just like, oh my goodness.
It is, you know, and it's, like I said, when I got out of the Navy, I was a diver and I wanted to continue to dive.
Yeah.
And that was my only opportunity. They had a pretty small group of divers. They're all recreation divers. And I dove in the ocean, you know, I mean, you can dive in the ocean in shorts and you know, a t-shirt.
Right.
Come back here and it's
Probably
cold
not.
water,
Yeah.
and it's dark, and
Yeah.
you know, and so recovered a lot of vehicles, a lot of bodies, you know, a lot of evidence. I mean, different things over the years. So it's quite the experience if you really want to experience something.
Well, let's move on to some questions about budget and taxes and stuff like that. What do you feel like your approach is to when it comes to, I know everybody loves the word taxes. It's the favorite word. But when it comes to like how you like look at those and spend and like where you allocate those things, what do you feel like your approach is?
Sure. As far as approach, there is no individual approach because it's all set out by law.
Right.
I mean, we have to set a budget by a certain date. We have to balance the budget, and we have to stay within the budget. It's not like the federal government, you know, where we can be $34 trillion in you know, the hole.
Yeah.
It's not set up like that for local government. No printing money. No. So you go to a different federal entity for that. So.
Oh, okay.
Other than input to our legislators, the county doesn't have a lot of say in how tax laws are set, you know. I mean, we work a lot with them during the legislative session. You know, if somebody's got something proposed that we can see is going to be bad, you know, we get that out there, you know, we voice our opinion. If they're proposing something, you know, that we can see is going to be beneficial, then we support it, you know. This last legislation did a number of tax law revisions and changed up some things. And through the 2 years that law has been in place, they've seen they've got to go in and revamp a lot of that.
Yeah.
We belong to an organization called Montana Association of Counties, and all 56 counties in the state belong to this organization. So they're basically our lobbyist for us, you know.
Oh,
and so they'll call up and say, hey, what do you think about this? That sounds pretty sketchy to me, you know.
Right.
And so then they'll take that consensus to Helena and lobby on our behalf, however we want it. The Department of Revenue, they come through and they do your assesses. They assess your property. My tax assessment went up this year on my property, and I keep it in my office because people want to come in and talk about it. And I say, here it is.
Right.
But my taxes went down $160 because of the tax law change.
Right.
So how that affects the county is we're kind of locked into how much money we can levy, okay, from I-105, which is an 80s law, right? So we have to work within what we get. And last year, our mill value decreased by about $4,000. So we had to increase the amount of mills we could take in, but we've got a cap on that as well. So, like I said, we have to set a budget before we even know how much money we get.
Oh, really?
So government is a lot different than private. You know, if you ran your business, like the government has to run its, because we don't profit share, we don't have a profit margin, you know, we don't.
Right.
You know, so it would drive you nuts.
Right.
You know, it's really weird. And it's like that for all governments, you know, they work on a different deal.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for Lincoln County, what's happening is, you know, we've had an increase of people. Obviously, property values have gone up.
Yeah.
But with the way the tax law was passed was properties, I'm trying to remember the number. I think it was like 2.1 million and less was taxed at one rate, okay? So Lincoln County doesn't have a lot of properties at 2.1 million and above, you know?
Right.
And however, Flathead does, Missoula does, you know, Bozeman does. Yeah. So those guys benefited, you know, with this higher tax rate on higher property. We lost some funding.
Right.
Department of Revenue, they set the assessment. State tells us, this is what we're going to get, and then we have to set our budget to it. As far as individual department budgets, and we're starting here at the beginning of May, we meet with the department heads or the elected officials. They bring to us their proposed budget. Okay. We sit down, we go over it. Generally what our major increases have been is insurance. It increases, I think our increase this year, we already heard, is 6%, and it was 7% last year. And then some kind of wage increase, because it's hard to retain people if you don't give them, what they're worth.
Yeah.
We sit down with the department heads, we go through that stuff. They've already got that all factored in. We used to kind of do a wish list, okay, I'd like 3 more new patrol cars.
Right.
But the last few years we haven't had funding for that. So we just kind of try and keep everybody in their operational perimeters where they're at right now. And that's our big push for this year.
Right.
We sit down with them, we go over their individual budgets. When it's all done, we put it into a big budget levy sheet. And of course, we have a couple of meetings about that. And if everybody's in agreement and we pass that budget, then that's going to be so what are we in this year? Fiscal 26-27 would be our next budget. And then we have to maintain that, So we got some federal allocation money a few years back. We invested $7 million of that to try and make something off the money, because we could very well see that if it was just sitting there, it was going to get paid up,
absolutely.
So we invested that money. We still have access to it. But the interest that we've made off that, we've been able to give raises to our employees and not tax our general budget.
Yeah.
And so that's the only way we could really do it,
Right.
A starting clerk starts right around $18 an hour. A $20 an hour job is McDonald's anymore. So it's tough to retain people.
Yeah.
If you don't have good benefits and pay them a decent wage.
Right. Absolutely. So, yeah, no, it's really tough. Yep. I wanted to ask real quick, you were just talking about like doing legislation and stuff like that. Does the county work together well with like the senators and stuff like that? Like, so is that like you guys are working together to...
We got a really good relationship with, of course, the state senator right now is Mike Cuff.
Yeah.
He's constantly calling, talking about things, especially during the legislative session. The representatives, always good there. And then nationally, so, Zinke, he's on his way out, where we've always had a good relationship with him. Again, that congressional allocation was a 5-county project. I think it was Lincoln, Lake, Sanders, Mineral, somebody else. It wasn't Flathead, but it was one of these other Northwest counties. And so they went together on an allocation for patrol cars and body scanners. And we were able to get a body scanner through some other funding, so we already had that, so we're going to use it for patrol cars. But, if you didn't have that kind of relationship, those guys wouldn't fight for that back then.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I was asking.
Yeah, I mean, you see where money gets squandered away to the most ridiculous things you ever heard of.
Yeah.
And so, at least this funding we know is coming to the state of Montana with a good, Senator Sheehy, he's fairly new. He's trying to get his feet, wet and under him. I've had some discussions, especially over his FEMA stuff with his office. Hope to see, more out of him. I was just telling somebody the other day, I mean, even though he's a Democrat, John Tester was amazing at communicating.
really?
It was incredible. I mean, he gave me his personal cell phone. He would call me when there was something going on, say, hey, what do you guys need? And he'd say, I'm out on the tractor, I'm plowing the field, what do you need? It was pretty, I mean, in that aspect.
Yeah.
You got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
Governor's been here a few times.
Right.
Ask him, because I'm not a grip and grin kind of guy.
Right. Right.
I mean, and I'm not a handout kind of guy.
Right.
But when they come here, I ask them, hey, support our legislation, support our grants, help us out where you can.
Right.
Don't come in here and blow smoke up my butt and, tell me what you want me to hear.
Leave and never come back.
I don't have time for it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
but they're all really good relationships.
That's good.
Yep.
I'm glad to hear that, because that's actually a relationship and part of politics that I'm learning about. It wasn't something that I was super familiar with.
Yep.
So learning how many of them like intercross together a lot more than I thought they did.
And it comes from experience and building them relationships, in years in office. I mean,
Right.
But those folks and they know you and they can call you and you can call them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen just right out of the box. So.
Oh, I would imagine not. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I appreciate that aspect of being able to build those relationships. And them.
Yeah, it's beneficial.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's tough to play partisan politics on this level, because I'm not going to affect change nationally. So if we can just work with everybody,
Right.
we're much better off.
Do you, if you don't mind me asking, with the partisan aspect on this level, like, is there a because I was recently told that just changed like within the last like 20 years or something
so
like that.
the county decided it didn't want to, the commissioners didn't want to be partisan, okay? So they went to a nonpartisan election, like city council,
Okay.
okay? And then they had the local government study review commission 10 years ago.
Right.
And they looked into that, and it was basically discovered that it was illegal. They couldn't do that. By state statute, commissioners have to be partisan, okay?
Oh.
So that was one of the things and changes that was affected out of that study commission at the time.
Gotcha.
And I think it should be just for the fact that you've got some insight into that person's, I don't know, not personality, but kind of in that person's belief,
Right.
backbone, spine, whatever you want to call it. Is this
Yeah.
person, somebody who I'm going to have to, worry about all these far-fetched things that are going on, the progressive things that are going on in the world, or is this somebody who's rooted,
Right.
and and stable,
Right.
whatever you want to call it. So,
And similarly minded.
yeah,
Similarly
exactly.
minded.
And you can have those discussions.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that came out of COVID that's the worst for me is people's inability to have discussions anymore without feelings being interjected into it.
I agree.
So you should have facts, you should have opinion.
Yeah.
Feelings should be last,
Yeah.
because it's really screwed up the nation more than anything.
Yeah, sometimes I am just people's ability to not just step back and just look at what is there instead of, but what about this? And it's like, no, we're this.
Right. Yeah. There's pretty substantial facts most of the time.
Yeah.
Another thing that came out of COVID was, it used to be science. Science was based on trial, error, and fact.
Right.
Well, now you can manipulate science to be your science.
Yeah.
However I want the results to turn out.
Yep.
And that's not the way it was intended, and that's confusing for people.
Right.
Every day you hear, eggs are good for you, eggs are bad. Cheese is good for you, cheese is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like constant, something.
Yeah.
And that's just them variations in science to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Preconceived notion.
To fit your feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
People coming here, we changed a lot, and especially COVID being a big part of that change. I would like to know how should Lincoln County handle the growth that we have and like with housing and development and stuff like that, but also while trying to protect our small town charm.
Yeah. And it's going to get harder. It really is because, good, bad, or indifferent, Libby, Eureka, Lincoln County's been discovered. We've been found. Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to the Flathead. We saw what happened over there. There's not much more room for expanse over there. Everything's so expensive, it's starting to bleed our way. So the number of subdivision reviews that we do now, the number of septic permits we do now, all that stuff is increased tenfold easy. And so you really have to look at what the practicability is of each project, okay? In the flip side of that is we also look at a lot of, are you familiar with conservation easements?
No.
So what it is big private property owners, Stimson, Green Diamond, the Weyerhaeuser, those kind of deals.
Oh, okay.
So those guys, they own massive amounts of acreage in Lincoln County, kind of like Forest Service.
Right.
So they can kind of do whatever they want to do with it. They bought it for timber production, right?
Right.
So they can either sit on it from, the time they produce the timber or take the timber off of it for 40 years and wait for another harvest, or they can sell it to private developers and let the developers do with it. Or one of the things they can do is put it in this conservation easement, which kind of basically just holds it in place. They can still take the timber off of it, but they can't sell it, and it has to stay open for recreation.
Oh, okay.
Misnomers about it. They thought, then they're not going to have to pay taxes on it, and all these other things,
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of beneficial in the aspect that I don't know if you're familiar with what just happened out in Wolf Prairie, Little Wolf out there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, there was, it's private property owner, big private property owner. Put it on the market. It sold to a rich individual. We heard about the Ted Turner things down south.
Oh, yes.
And literally, you cannot get off the main road now. Every road has a gate on it, a lock, a sign, and a camera.
Yes.
So you can't, and I've been hunting up there since I was a kid. And so Dee and I went up there last summer in the Jeep, and I was just shocked.
Yeah.
And it's private property. I mean, I respect their private property rights if they don't want people around up there.
Right.
But had that been a conservation easement, it would still be open.
Right.
You know, people could still go out there and experience it.
Right.
Or had it been subdivided, you know, then you had an opportunity to buy a piece of it. You know, if you want a
Right.
piece of paradise, by all means, you know,
Right.
get a
Right.
loan and buy it.
Right.
But so these conservation easements, what it does do though is they can't sell it and they can't build on it. You know, so
Right.
it limits our expansion.
Right.
So there's kind of a pro and a con to it. You know?
Right.
But when you're looking at that, you got to look at it and say, okay, is this some place that would be beneficial for housing and development, or is this someplace just so far off the beaten path that this is ridiculous?
Right.
Okay. And we've also had some changes in some state laws and some state court rulings lately about water. Right? It's hard for me living here to imagine that we're in a drought.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you see the river out here, there's 26,000 gallons per second flowing by Libby.
Right.
And what that's doing is that's affecting the aquifer. And then each time you tap the aquifer, you affect it again. There's been some, especially on the east side of Montana and some other places around the state, court battles about groundwater. So now we've seriously got to look at how is this affecting these aquifers. One of the issues we had out at Happy's Inn with that RV park that was in litigation out there, it really was. And, you know, so we're working with the U.S. Geological Survey to try and get a survey done. You know, everybody can have an opinion or a point of view, you know. You know, people were calling because the lake was low. I talked to people that lived out there for 50 years and they said the lake's been like this before.
Right.
So you just don't know, you know. But until you get some good science to back up yes or no, you just don't know. Right. And again, that's happening up in Eureka as well. So there's just so many things that are affected by growth that the normal person doesn't think about. Hometown, you know, that's going to have to be a choice of the people. You know, right. If a California plate makes you mad, that's a choice you made. You know,
right.
If you can just accept, you know, that, well, it might be somebody who wants to change. It might be somebody who's in a rental car,
right.
Or it might be somebody who just hasn't gotten their plates changed yet, you know.
Right.
And we saw a lot of that with COVID. There was a lot of properties around here that were bought sight unseen.
Yes,
and for a ridiculous amount of property. So that made it hard, especially for first-time home buyers, to buy anything around here. You know, a couple of my kids live in rentals because they're young, starter families, they can't afford to buy. You know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, your first home loan is for $500,000 for a 2-bedroom house with no yard. Come on.
Exactly. Or you live in an apartment for $1,600 a month.
Oh yeah.
So, the hometown thing is going to kind of have to be an attitude. Change is going to happen. There's no way we can stop change.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Either accept it or you fight and push back against it.
Right.
The growth and the expansion is coming. I just tell people, just get ready for it, because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's just no way around it. Are we going to have high rises and, a strip mall from here to Troy, like Kalispell to Whitefish? No.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, and it is happening. It's slowed down some because of the interest rate. There was a lot of property sold that I thought people were going to develop on, and then the interest rate went up and they couldn't afford to do it. But when that interest rate comes back down and things kind of pan back out in the world, it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
It helps the county out in the aspect that it's tax base, Right. I mean, a bare piece of property as opposed to a developed, $500,000 home.
Absolutely,
obviously is going to, the DOR is going to appraise that for a different value.
Right.
Absolutely. But at the same time, we have to provide services to that, which is fire, ambulance, law enforcement. So
right. So we need volunteers.
So yeah, we need volunteers, but we also need to be able to, purchase the equipment that they're going to need.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind when things start to really kick off again that Happy's Inn ain't going to be the next community. And I mean, you look at what subdivisions are already in place out there.
Right.
Thompson's got a big subdivision out there. There's a couple other ones. So it's going to happen. A deputy can't be running in and out of there every time there's a call. So we're going to have to put somebody at that location.
Right.
We have resident deputies in Eureka. We have resident deputies in Troy.
Yeah.
So what do you do then?
I was actually asking one of the candidates that was running for sheriff about that, if something that is possible, and he said not at this moment, but hopefully it's something that could be doable in the future.
Well, there's the difference between doable and haftable. Because I mean, everything's doable, but sooner or later we're going to have to.
Yeah, no.
There's just no way around it.
That makes total sense.
And when we do, we better be prepared to do it because it's a service people expect. They pay taxes, they expect a service. I fully get it.
Absolutely.
So I get it. That's why we have these remote fire departments, these remote ambulance agencies, because people, are living in those areas and expect the service. So
Yeah, not everybody can wait 45 minutes for the ambulance to get there,
Exactly.
or then another 40 back, or
Right.
whichever way is closer to get to a
Especially,
hospital.
it's a tragic car accident out there, major highway. Everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's that area specifically, actually, I totally agree with
Yeah.
what you're,
It's going to happen.
yeah, it's growing.
Yep. And if we can kind of manage the rate of that, I mean, once a subdivision's approved, then it goes on the market, and from there it's private capitalism. I mean, that person's looking to sell money, recoup money. Person buying the house is going to build on it, whatever.
Right.
Whether they put a camper up for a weekend or they build a condo or a mansion on it, I don't
Right.
know. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so we got to be involved in that early on to try and help out. So
I would also like to ask, how about with the way that Lincoln County is influenced with like state and federal, like we were talking about the Forest Service and stuff like that, how much of an impact are those entities on Lincoln County's ability to do what we need to do? Does that make sense?
because I mean it's the trickle down effect, kind of a butterfly effect. So like I said, we got this MSA, okay, this agreement in place. At the time, the state had funds for Firewise fire safe projects, would help you firewise around your property.
Right.
And the feds had funds for that. Okay, so then nationally, and I agree with the process. I don't know, I'm hoping something good came out of it, but Doge happened. Okay, we all know how that happened.
Right.
I mean, that crippled a lot of entities at the time.
Yeah.
And like I said, they took those funds back.
Right.
So we haven't had any beneficial projects. And we're just starting to get, started again now.
Right.
Same thing happened with the state. The state had some funding that we were going to get for that. And then all of a sudden they realized, well, the Forest Service ain't going to be there. We need to prop up our state firefighting fund because there's a lot of state land.
Right.
So they clawed that money back. And, that's been very detrimental. Even just most recently, this stuff with FEMA, okay? So this FEMA declaration went in January 16th and we got it last Friday, right?
That's so cool.
Really, that's not that long of a process. But what happened was Department of Homeland Security, because of ICE and all the issues, all got tied up in that continuing resolution bill back in DC,
Gotcha.
and they would not kick it out for the funding.
Gotcha.
So here we are, fully impacted.
Right.
And we've got folks, getting upset,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
and we're waiting for them to
Yeah.
we can get started.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where, thank God, the state stepped in and said, "Look, we have some emergency funding. We can reimburse you some of this stuff." Because I'm like, we got to get going.
Yeah.
We can't have these roads and these people impacted for a year.
Yeah. Forever.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And that was one of those back east, federal, national issues that impacted Lincoln County hard.
That's so wild to me.
Oh, it does. It
how,
does.
How those
Yep.
things can just totally, I mean, literally stopped everything.
Yep.
Because we don't have the ability to just go and start, running the credit card for
Exactly,
millions
right.
and millions
Yeah.
of dollars.
Yeah. Well, and then right after Doge, there was a big federal shutdown. This continuing resolution issue. They will not set a budget. Okay. So what they do is every 6 months they go into this continuing resolution, and somewhere somebody finds a mechanism to use it for a political tool. Okay. That's what's been happening with the thing. And so last time it shut down the Forest Service. And, all of that trickle down effect.
Yep.
They had to lay off a bunch of employees. We actually picked up one of their employees.
Interesting.
Yeah, Forester. So it's that trickle down effect and then the impact, and nothing just starts right up where it was.
Oh, of course.
And and I've been saying it for a year and a half on this project. We're right on the cusp of something really getting, and we've had some projects that have been let to contract.
Right.
Most recently with the Hecla mine.
Yes.
I don't know how much you know about that, but they pulled back their mining permit and put in for an exploratory permit.
Yes, I did hear
So
that.
that made it a little easier for them to get kind of semi-operational and really develop, a model of what they've got to mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve Gunderson was very
Sure.
informative on that.
Well, now that's
Yeah.
been litigated. Okay. Environmentals filed a suit
Just
just recently. I mean,
my
I'm thinking it was
God.
last week. So, and it's, it comes down to the grizzly bear, the bull trout, I mean, all the environmental issues, that they fight about everything with.
so does that mean it's just
Well,
done now?
no, it's not done.
Oh, okay.
But it's going to impact their ability to expand anything, because they've got to dewater a bunch of that mine, and they have a state-of-the-art water purification system up there,
Yeah.
And they've been doing it. It was 15 years of fighting with them before just to get to this point, and now we're starting all over. So that happens a lot with the Forest Service. Every time we have a major sale, it comes under litigation somehow.
That is so ridiculous.
Yep,
I can't even, wow.
Well, those folks don't live around here. They don't understand the impact to us. It's not just about cutting trees.
Yeah.
It was a proposed sale called Ripley,
Yeah.
right? Tied up in litigation. And I signed on personally as an intervener on that to explain to them how it's going to impact the locals.
Right.
Because I live just right over here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Dee and I sit out there and watch lightning strikes and fires start.
Yeah. Gosh.
But those kind of things are things that people hear about, but don't really understand how that's affecting our hometown life.
Yeah, our people.
You saw the type of winter we've had, and even though we've had some moisture, there was no valley snow.
None. Like none.
And so the fires that we've been seeing traditionally for the last probably 10 years have been in the valley floors. Bobtail out here, you saw that. Last year's fire was a burn from 2017. I literally went into a fire meeting one time, came outside, looked up the hill, and the hill was on fire.
Oh.
They didn't even know about it. It started. But so we could have a very bad fire season.
Right.
I stood next to people's houses up in the West Kootenai that were burning, and that's just something you don't want to experience with folks, The emotions they go through to see their whole life go up in flames.
I have, not my personal house, but I have witnessed that, and it was it was tragic. It was horrible. The Troy fire that had just the burn and stuff that had just been done. How does that process work with you?
You're talking a control burn?
Yeah, controlled burn.
Yeah, well, and that's happening right now because it's that time of year.
Yeah.
So one of the tools to control wildfire is to burn the fuels. Okay. Everybody thinks they go in there and they're burning up production trees. Okay?
Right.
That's not what they're burning up.
Right.
I mean, you can see the scars on the trees. You can see the barks burn.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what they're trying to burn up is they're trying to burn up the ground fuels and the ladder fuels, the things that allow a fire to come out of control. And by a controlled burn, they can disseminate those and controlled, that's the word.
Right.
And then, keep that wildfire from, tearing through there if they get one.
Right.
So between logging, controlled burns, management burns, all of those are different tools that they can use to mitigate this wildfire process. We've got a lot of burn scars around here. Matter of fact, that one at Bobtail, when it burned, it was, I think, 2018. And, people make the comment, well, it won't burn again. Last year it did.
Yeah.
Because that's all standing, rotten snags.
Yeah. Right.
If we don't do something with those fuel loads, we're going to have this problem.
Yeah.
And every time they try to go in and do a salvage sale, they come against some type of litigation or something on it. And so here we are again. So that thing literally burned twice in 6 years.
That is wildly
7 years.
fascinating.
Yep.
You're like a person whose profession is to just be annoying.
It's not a person, it's a group.
Oh, okay,
and they make a lot of money.
Okay.
No. And that's their business,
Right.
The Freedom to Justice Act, it was put into law for a good purpose. It was, the Agent Orange, basically, you had veterans coming home who were impacted by the government's ability and couldn't sue the government. Okay.
Right.
And so, but now the environmentalists have decided, okay, we can manipulate that because now we can sue the government. It doesn't cost us anything. And at the same time, they make tens of millions of dollars. I'll tell you what, if you really want to talk to somebody who's very versed on this, do you know who Michelle Bianco is?
Yes.
Michelle
yes,
Bianco.
Yeah.
She's very well versed on it.
Yeah.
She's doing a lot of analysis and a lot of studies on it.
To know.
Yeah, she's very smart.
Yeah. Well, I might have to do that.
Until we fix some of those national laws and try and get, some semblance of reality and common sense back to it.
Right.
This is the world we live in, so we have to navigate it.
That is so crazy to me.
It is.
Wow.
It is.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to have to ask Michelle about that. I've learned so much in the last, weeks. I've been holy crap.
Yeah.
I never thought I didn't know as much as I really didn't know.
Well, most people don't, day to day. You're fed little news snippets, you're fed little, pieces of information. Then you got to kind of make your own assumption of it,
Right.
And the unfortunate thing anymore is too many people believe what they're fed instead of going out and doing just a little bit of research and looking at opposing views of that and then determining, people are very, very quick to jump. Look at it from a couple different angles, realize, that, I got friends that send me silly stuff on Facebook,
right.
and I send back to them, that's not real. No, that's not fact. That's
Yep.
not truth. You know, I mean,
Yep.
that's somebody's, manipulation of it.
Yep.
Where a lot of people just eat it right up.
Well, and then, everybody's new favorite thing is AI. So that's.
Oh yeah, you don't even know what to believe anymore.
I would like to ask you a question about, really as far as everything that you've been doing and everything that you hope to accomplish and finish up, what do you feel like you and, the other commissioners obviously also can do to work with like communicating better with like the people and like being transparent? I mean, I know that obviously, I've seen your guys' meetings. They're like 8 hours long.
Ours aren't too bad.
Yeah,
It just
okay.
depends on.
Okay.
So yeah,
They're long.
But to answer that, there were some good things that came out of legislation in 2023, and one of them was video recording certain meetings, and the commission meetings, the city council meetings, that kind of stuff, and then having to post that on a website.
Yes.
I love it, man, because not everybody can attend a meeting.
Absolutely.
But if you take the time to go down and sit in front of the TV, pull it up,
Yeah.
and view it,
Yeah.
it's like you were there. And
I have done that.
A lot of our stuff is, obviously our agendas have to be out a minimum of 48 hours before, so that gives time for people to comment. I get emails or calls or people come to the meetings and comment. Transparency, though, I love that key phrase, especially in campaigns.
The trigger word.
Yeah, in campaigns, because transparency is kind of a two-way street.
Absolutely.
I wholly understand the concept,
Right.
but at the same time, you have to make an effort to
Right.
find out the information. Okay?
Right, I
I
agree.
can't come to your house, sit down on your couch, and tell you what happened today.
Right.
You have to make an effort to find out.
Right.
And hear it all the time. Well, when did this happen? And there was public meetings, there was our meetings, there was newspaper articles, all over Facebook, and they still didn't know.
Yes.
So I just don't know how to get that out to people in a satisfactory fashion other than what we're doing. But again, we record all our meetings. They have to be posted, I think, within 24 or 48 hours. So it's just real fast on those.
Oh, okay.
All of our minutes are online. All of our resolutions are online. Anytime we have a meeting that involves 2 or more commissioners, it has to be posted and online.
Oh, okay.
That's a quorum.
That's it, yes.
I think it's a lot better than it used to be as far as available.
Right.
But again, you have to go find it.
Right.
You have to make the effort. A lot of people come in and say, I read this in the paper. Kind of my reply is, well, that was your first mistake. Because,
Right.
again, it comes back to that bias opinion.
Right.
And they're making headlines.
Right.
So you read an article in the paper, don't take that as whole fact, okay?
Right.
Ask questions about it.
Right.
And I always tell people, especially when I speak at groups, is educate yourself on the issue.
Right.
Above
Absolutely.
and beyond what you read in the paper. Because
Right.
the paper is only taking a snippet of it, and they're going to manipulate it to make it look like, it's going to sell papers.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same
Yeah,
way as the
that's the
national news.
point.
That's a
Yeah,
national.
yeah.
So you got to make an effort. And again, I'm open. I got people showing my house at 9 o'clock at night. Complain about a tree or something,
Oh,
They just do it. They know where I live.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
like that, but
Right.
they know where I
Right.
live.
Don't do that,
out mowing
please.
my yard. But my email address, my phone number, all that stuff's all public information.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to navigate. Lots of information on there, but you can always ask.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Well, and I just want to say that I completely agree with transparency being a two-way street. I really, really do, because let me just say, with my Facebook page and stuff like that, I have learned a lot over the last several years that having a very strong one-sided opinion can affect things, and not going and learning what's actually there, or not taking the time to, whatever. So I have tried my absolute hardest over the last, few years to just try to be as, down the middle as I can, and try. Sometimes it's very, very hard.
It is.
But, I like that I can share, I'll see somebody say something and be like, oh, well, this happened at this commissioner meeting. Well, actually, here's the link to the video for that meeting at this date and this time. Here is the agenda where they, and I feel like that is extremely important.
Well, that's fact.
Yeah. Right.
Those are facts that are going to back up your opinion.
Right.
Or alter your opinion.
Right. No, absolutely.
And I've seen that through your web page, kind of that back and forth and the battle and the growth,
Yeah.
So because early on I was like, oh my God, why is she putting herself out there?
Yeah.
It really was, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're entitled to their opinion, whether their opinion is backed up by fact or not.
Yeah.
But it's, that's their opinion.
Right.
That doesn't have to be yours, doesn't have to be mine, doesn't have to be the majority,
Right.
but they can't accept that.
Oh, no.
That's another thing I seen out of COVID that was really strange. People used to come into the office and ask me a question, and they were looking for an answer. And I could look up state law, whatever. Now it seems like they come there and they have a preconceived answer, and they're looking for me to reinforce their answer, not give them fact or an alternate answer.
Right.
And they get a little combative about it. And generally, I kind of got what I call the gift of gab. I can generally talk people around it, but say, no, that's not the law. Well, I was told that this is it. Well, I'm sorry, but
We're told wrong. Right.
But this is fact. This is the law. This is how it's done. This isn't me making this up.
Right.
I can't make up anything.
Right.
Barely make a bed.
Yeah.
But as far as that I've seen a lot of that come out of COVID in online as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I actually totally agree with they just come in looking for a fight.
Yep.
There is they don't give a crap one way or the other what your answer is. They just
like I said, I still don't mind talking to them. I mean, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to anybody.
I feel like you probably are in a position where you got to talk to people.
You do.
Yeah.
You can't run and hide, and it shouldn't be like that,
Right.
People should be able to have a conversation and communicate. To me, that keyboard commando or the Facebook kind of thing has really diminished our ability to communicate. It really has, But that's that's just the way we are right now. This is society, and that's where we're at. We have to change with it and deal with it. So.
Yeah. No. I totally agree. Well, I mean, actually, I really feel like that was the majority of my questions. Do you, if you could say something to people who still may feel like undecided or anything, what would your message be?
Primarily, my message would be and has been is I have the experience, I have the connections, I have the knowledge, the wherefore, the drive, and the desire to finish what I started here and to continue to serve Lincoln County. I'm not a big fan of politics. I really am, but I understand the need and the process and how it, built the country. But at the same time, it seems like it could hinder our processes. So, I just want to have that ability to finish what I started, continue to serve, and be here for the people. That's my biggest thing is, you don't do this for the money.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
You don't do it for the money. I can make a lot more in private industry.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy the job and I enjoy the people. Even the controversial ones, I still enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
If I would have been smarter when I was younger, I'd have been a lawyer.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
No, just the ability to continue to serve and finish what I've started here in Lincoln County. When I left the city, in my opinion, things were setting pretty good.
Right.
A lot of controversy erupted not too long after that.
Right.
That was a different administration's issue,
right.
And I do not want to leave anything controversial. I want to be able to go out on a positive note.
Right.
So.
That makes total sense. Yeah. And I know that earlier you had mentioned about ways to get a hold of you and get in touch with you. You said you have an email address and
I do. Yep.
No, not Facebook. Phone number?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So my email address is real simple, Libby Local, LOCAL, @yahoo.com.
Well,
been a Libby Local.
Yeah. All right. There you go.
Phone number is 406-334-6119. It's a cell phone. Got it with me all the time. If I'm in a meeting, I don't answer, please just leave me a message. I'll get back to you. There's a small bio on the Lincoln County webpage if you want to look at that. And then I've got some, actually I got to sign out here for you if you don't mind.
No, absolutely.
And I've got some cards coming with some stuff and trying to get this bio put together for the newspapers.
Awesome.
But most people that aren't new to Libby know Teske.
Right.
They know how to find Teske.
Right. So
So it's not hard.
Thank you very much for doing
Thank you.
this. I
Good questions.
Appreciate
Good
it.
questions.
Yes. Yeah. So now you know where you can find and reach out to Brent.
Thank you.
Yes.